From WREG in Memphis, this is News Channel 3 at 10.
And starting you off with breaking news, a pedestrian bridge meant to link the city of Sweetwater, Florida to Florida International University campuses collapses today, laying waste to the project, killing at least 4 people and sending at least 10 others to the hospital.
Now WREG has uncovered new details linking the technology used to build that bridge to a project here in Memphis. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlon.
And I'm Greg Hurst. We'll explain that connection in just a moment. But first, Laura Podesta has the latest on the search and rescue efforts in Florida.
On Thursday afternoon, Southwest 8th Street in Sweetwater, Florida, turned into a disaster zone.
The whole bridge is down across the whole side of 8th Street.
Shortly before 2 p.m., a pedestrian bridge being built next to Florida International University collapsed. 950 tons of steel and concrete came crashing down onto 8 vehicles stopped at a red light beneath it.
There's cars stuck under there.
Within minutes, a massive search and rescue effort was underway.
I jumped out of my car, locked my car, and I ran towards the victims to see if we could help anybody. But when I saw, the only thing you could see were the car lights in the front. It's totally smashed almost to the ground.
First responders used dogs and listening devices to look for survivors. Cranes and other heavy equipment were brought in to stabilize the debris. The bridge was still under construction and had not yet opened to the public. Time-lapse video shows how it was assembled next to the road before being swung over it on Saturday.
5 days ago, we were celebrating that it was in the process of being erected. This bridge was about goodness, not sadness.
The National Transportation Safety Board has dispatched a team to the site of the collapse. The agency says its investigation will look at whether the bridge's design played a role in the tragedy. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
And as investigators look into the design, we're looking into the technique used to build this bridge. We found it's going to be used right here in the Bluff City.
That's right, Greg. It's called Accelerated Bridge Construction, or ABC, and TDOT crews plan to use it right here in Memphis. WREG's Stacey Jacobson explains how it could impact your safety in the future.
The superstructure of the existing bridges will be demolished and hauled away. Transport trucks will carry the prefabricated pieces to the bridge site, where cranes will set the new structures into place.
This video explains accelerated bridge construction, a relatively new technique used to replace bridges without cutting off traffic during construction. It's the same technique used to build and install the pedestrian bridge that collapsed in Florida. And now we've learned TDOT is using it right here in Memphis.
By using accelerated bridge construction, TDOT will deliver results quickly.
TDOT says it plans to replace several bridges over I-240, including 2 over Poplar and 1 over Park.
This is a key artery going across the interstate.
You can see traffic is still flowing here on the Park Avenue Bridge over I-240. That's because TDOT says it's using that accelerated bridge construction technique. I'm going to take you over here so you can see the construction equipment is here while they work on the replacement.
I hope we have better luck than they did in Florida.
WREG contacted TDOT tonight, and we asked whether the Florida collapse causes concern about a similar risk using the technique here in Memphis. A TDOT spokesperson tells us they don't know enough to make a comment at this time. Drivers we spoke with hope they get answers soon.
I hope the engineers in the state of Tennessee are able to give us a little more assurance than that of whether it's going to stay up or not.
If it happened that fast, they probably need to reevaluate it. I would say that'd be due diligence to understand what happened down there versus what they're going to do here.
TDOT says it plans to finish the 240 project next year. Stacey Jacobson, WREG News Channel 3.
Well, apparently Tennessee has been using this project for a while now. In fact, TDOT used accelerated bridge construction to install several new bridges on I-40 in Nashville. Those finished in December 2015.
And we have also uncovered that a Memphis-based transport specialist company was part of this team putting the Florida bridge in place. Barnhart Crane and Rigging has corporate offices on Airway in South Memphis and locations across the country. They gave us this statement today saying, in part, Barnhart was contracted to move the bridge into place and was not involved with the design or construction of the bridge. Our scope of work was completed without incident and according to all technical requirements.
Well, WREG is monitoring this developing story. We'll have the latest updates tomorrow on Daybreak. In the meantime, download our free WREG mobile app. You'll have access to the latest information at your fingertips. It's free.
And at this 11 o'clock hour, we're watching temperatures that are quite mild across the area. 57 degrees here in Memphis, already cooling off to 48 degrees down in Corinth, Mississippi. No rainfall on Storm Tracker 3S, but as we go forward in time, the satellite imagery, you see clouds that will be on the increase overnight tonight. Showers will be developing across parts of Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas, and moving into our area tomorrow. Storm Prediction Center still has a marginal to slight risk of severe weather across a large part of our region for tomorrow. So what you can expect, increasing cloudiness tonight, showers and storms developing tomorrow. Some of those storms could be strong to severe. How does the weekend forecast look? We'll check that coming up. Greg?
We'll talk to you then. Thanks, Tim. New at 10, a Cooper young man is out of the hospital tonight after an accused burglar bit off part of his face. The attack happened Wednesday morning at the recording studio where he works on South Cooper.
Sounds almost like a horror movie. WREG's Luke Jones spoke with the victim today.
Barnes is covered in scrapes, but his worst injury, a chunk missing from his left cheek after a burglar bit it off.
It was just surreal, and it was just like some kind of weird movie.
A movie that ended with 25 stitches after an attack at the Sounds Good Memphis recording studio on Cooper Street, where Barnes was working Wednesday morning.
The door starts banging, and then he breaks the glass on the window.
This man, Cortland Northcross, admitting to breaking in through a window before Barnes says he started biting him.
Lunged and started biting me all over. I've got bites all over me.
Barnes says he met Northcross for the first time Sunday when he showed up at the studio asking for a place to stay.
And I was like, well, you can't sleep here, but I can give you a little bit of food.
Barnes thought that was the end of it, but Northcross wanted much more.
That building's in my name.
One of a handful of messages left on Barnes's phone, claiming to own the studio.
Yes, you can call the cops. I'll kill them too. Get the out of my house.
He had texted Barnes just minutes before Wednesday's break-in, and when police finally showed up,
he just stood up and put his own arms behind his back and said, take me to jail.
Northcross is charged with aggravated assault and burglary. Officers note a history of emergency commitments, but he doesn't appear to have any criminal history in Shelby County.
I mean, he's smiling in this mug.
He was happy that he had food coming in a bed.
Barnes, who's uninsured, is happy to have the support of his friends, who immediately set about creating a GoFundMe page to raise money for his medical bills.
It's just been overwhelming. It has been a very healing part of the process.
Now, those stitches come out next week, but Barnes still doesn't know if this guy might have given him some type of disease. He's waiting on blood sample results from the hospital. He's also waiting to learn from police how this guy got his phone number. Luke Jones, WREG News Channel 3.
Well, let's hope those results turn out okay. There is no word on whether mental health issues or drugs played a role in the attack.
2 Memphis police officers are off the job tonight. Police say Officer Carl Craig and Lieutenant Robert Covington are relieved of duty pending the outcome of an investigation. Covington is not in this video we're showing you now. Police say that the investigation has something to do with the K-9 unit, though they did not say exactly what. We'll certainly keep you updated.
Well, this man is locked up tonight, accused of holding a gun to a child's head. Memphis police say Freddie Gill stormed into a home on Wellington last month and robbed a family. At one point, he allegedly shot at someone. Police say he even pointed a gun at a kid and threatened to take a child if he didn't get what he wanted. Investigators say Gill got away with a phone and about $500 in cash. Police finally arrested him yesterday.
Memphis police say they need help catching killers, so they're highlighting cold cases every single week. Today, investigators profiled Tadarius Tate. He was gunned down last August at Park and Goodman. Tadarius Tate was a young man looking for his big break in the music industry. He wanted to be a rapper, but someone killed the 19-year-old in a drive-by shooting. We spoke with his sister after it happened.
We don't know who to trust. We don't know if we in the same places with these people. We don't know, and it's scary.
Tadarius is 19 years old, went to Melrose High School. He loved his family. He talked about the things he enjoyed doing. He loved junk food. That's the one thing his dad told me. He said, that kid loves some junk food. His mom would tell you he loves lasagna.
And they certainly loved him. If you know who killed 19-year-old Tadarius Tate, call Crime Stoppers at 528-CASH. All calls are confidential.
Well, new information tonight on how much it costs to pay for police support during the removal of Confederate statues in Memphis. Monuments of Nathan Bedford Forrest and Jefferson Davis were taken down in December. Tonight, WREG has uncovered the price tag for security. It was just over $44,000 in overtime for MPD officers. Now, the nonprofit organization Green Space says it's going to pay that bill, though it never said how. The new organization purchased the land the statues sat on from the city and removed them.
New at 10, gang violence is a real problem, and the University of Memphis brought in a guest lecturer to discuss that subject tonight. Susan Burke-Seligson was the speaker. She's a research professor at Vanderbilt. The name of her lecture is The Discourse of Crime and Gang Violence in the Urban Landscape of Central America. It focuses on how violence has evolved in Central America over the last 2 decades. Burke-Seligson explained how crime led to the emergence of youth gangs. She says gangs are a way for younger people to express themselves.
Well, coming up, we get our first look at video of a Parkland, Florida deputy who failed to help the children inside during a school shooting. We'll show you what went down.
Plus, a restaurant owner pulls a taser on a would-be dine and dasher. We'll explain why he had to pull it out in the first place.
Your #1 10 p.m. newscast, WREG News Channel 3.